The hallway of SEAL Training Detachment Bravo carried its usual mix of echoes and steel, boots striking the floor in steady waves as lockers slammed and the faint smell of oil drifted from the gear cages. Nora Lane stepped into the corridor with a calm rhythm, holding a bundle of briefing documents she had triple-checked before walking in. Her neutral cardigan and navy shirt blended into the background, but attention still found her. A pair of SEAL candidates nudged each other, whispering just loud enough to be heard. One called her the paperwork girl. Another joked about the library running out of bookmarks. Their laughter sharpened when she headed toward the briefing hall, where a lieutenant leaned against the doorway with crossed arms and an amused tilt of his chin. He asked if she was there to alphabetize their gear racks. Snickers followed like applause. Nora didn't flinch. She simply nodded politely, tightened her hold on the documents, and walked past them with quiet grace. She didn't defend herself or react. Her silence unsettled them more than any comeback could have. Inside the briefing room, she placed the documents down as the tension of the hallway lingered behind her. Nora Lane, only 32, carried herself with a calm steadiness beyond her age. She was known as the administrative librarian, keeper of the archives, mission records, training manuals, and thousands of pages instructors relied upon daily. Her office was tucked between the operations wing and the old storage bay, a place most people passed without notice, but she noticed everything. Her movements were precise, almost elegant. She handled documents like others handled weapons, deliberately and without wasted motion. Her soft voice was never loud, but unmistakably confident. Still, many underestimated her. They saw her gentleness where they expected grit, quiet where they expected sharpness. A bookish woman with neatly tied hair who they believed belonged somewhere safer. Every morning, she arrived before sunrise, unlocking the library and preparing stacks of briefs left by the night crew. She made small pencil notes instructors trusted more than they admitted, updated maps, corrected mislabeled files, and restored pages torn during long field nights. But outside her peaceful domain, candidates walked past her without slowing, wearing confidence like armor. Some nodded politely, most didn't. When she delivered files to classrooms, conversations lowered as if she had interrupted something more important. A petty officer once laughed that she had the safest job on base. A rushing trainee clipped her shoulder so hard her papers shifted, but he didn't stop or apologize. And still, she stayed steady, embracing her routine without complaint. During Memorial Day preparations, she carefully placed flags and plaques with a reverence that came from somewhere deeper than her civilian title. She guided nervous rookies who wandered into the library, offering gentle encouragement. At lunch, she sat alone. Not unwelcome, but unnoticed. Her posture was too straight, her eyes too aware, her instincts too sharp for someone supposedly tied to a desk. When she entered a room, her gaze flicked to exits and blind corners out of habit, not fear. On veteran visitation days, she never approached those she recognized. Instead, she watched quietly from a distance. Those who paid attention noticed small inconsistencies. She corrected a maintenance tech using terminology too experienced for someone without field time. She reacted to distant distress before others even registered the sound. But questions never lasted long. Training moved too fast for curiosity. The next day's afternoon briefing exposed the crack beneath the surface. As Nora handed out packets, she noticed a printed map error and corrected it neatly. Candidate Briggs laughed, muttering about a typo from the library lady, sparking another ripple of mockery. Captain Rhodes heard but didn't intervene. When Nora later corrected a timing misprint that would have thrown off Bravo and Alpha Team's synchronized drills, candidates whispered jokes about bookmark tabs and storybooks. She stood silently beside the wall, waiting for the session to end. When dismissed, she collected extra packets as candidates brushed past her without acknowledgement. But beneath her calm expression, a shadow crossed her eyes, old memories flickering like distant heat on the horizon. The next morning brought quiet revelations. Lieutenant Colonel Harris, a respected Marine historian known for his bluntness, greeted her with unusual reverence. A confused candidate watched as the officer treated her not as a librarian, but as a peer. Later, when the same candidate awkwardly mimicked a stance at the rifle display, Nora corrected him gently yet expertly. Her guidance revealed experience far beyond hobbyist familiarity. When shelving old mission logs, her hand paused over the call sign Shadow 9, her breath tightening around memories she refused to revisit. A staff member spotted a thin scar along her wrist, too clean, too straight to come from shelving mishaps. She brushed it off with a vague smile. Instructors noticed her fluency in tactical terminology she shouldn't have known, and when a trainee shouted in distress outside, her posture snapped alert before anyone else heard. By midday, whispers had started. Who exactly was Nora Lane? Why did her knowledge feel lived, not learned? The answer arrived during the water survival drill that afternoon. With instructors distracted by a malfunctioning pulley, a trainee named Morrison struck the water wrong and became trapped in twisted gear. Candidates panicked, shouting while instructors didn't hear. Nora placed her manuals down, removed her shoes, and dove without hesitation, cutting through the water with perfect tactical form. Underwater, she freed Morrison with practiced efficiency, surfacing with him using a clean rescue kick. Instructors stared, shocked. Her tone was firm and commanding as she guided candidates through stabilizing him. The pool deck fell silent. No more jokes, only disbelief. Word spread instantly. By the time Commander Marcus Keegan, the feared, respected field officer, arrived for quarterly evaluations, curiosity ran thick through the detachment. Keegan stepped into the library expecting to inspect procedures. Instead, he froze. His severe expression softened into disbelief as he whispered, "Lane, is that you?" The room stilled as he spoke a name buried in classified files. Shadow 9. Gasps rippled across the room. Trainees who had mocked her hours earlier stood rigid, understanding too late who they had dismissed. Nora Lane, the quiet librarian, had been one of the most skilled reconnaissance operatives they had ever produced. Silent, unseen, legendary. Injured on her final mission and discharged without recognition. Keegan saluted her. A full, formal salute from a commander to a legend. The room exhaled as she returned it slowly, reluctantly. In that moment, every assumption shattered. Every laugh died. Every doubt dissolved. What replaced them was profound, immediate respect. Not because she demanded it, but because she earned it long before any of them ever knew her name. And the lesson settled on all of them like a weight. Never underestimate the quiet ones.